Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final part of Ecuador series. In the previous episode, I left the town of Alausi and headed south. In this final part, we will complete La Sierra trip with a stopover at the city of Cuenca and move west towards the city of Guayaquil, eventually making our way back to Quito. If you enjoy my content, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I'd highly appreciate that. About 2-hour drive south from Alausi lies one of the most sacred places in Ecuador's history, the ruins of ancient civilization called Inkapirka. Inkapirka is an extremely important site for Ecuadorian people. It was built in 15th century and for Ecuadorians this is equivalent of Machu Picchu of Peru. This is the most northern point fortification of Inca civilization. Obviously the World Heritage Site declared by UNESCO. The main attraction here is behind me and it's a Temple of the Sun. Built by Incas on top of the ancient Cañari ceremonial rock, Temple of the Sun is a structure put together using perfectly carved stones without any mortar in its joints. This area was initially settled by the Cañari tribe, who were known for their resistance against Incan Empire. Eventually, it was conquered by Incas and turned into a fortress, hence its name Inkapirka, which translates to the Incan Wall. I really enjoyed my walk here as I was studying every single detail of this place, although I must say sometimes it was a bit challenging, as current residents were giving me a little bit of a hard time. What's unique about this place is the fact that even after the invasion, both Cañari and Inca coexisted together. As a result, a mixture of traditions was created. This is the reason why archaeological remains of both cultures can still be found here. At some point, I ended up being the only person in this complex. I got up to have a final look at this treasure of ancient civilization, and I thought that 500 years ago, Inca were living their lives at this exact spot, made it so much more special. As it usually happens in the mountains, the weather changes quickly, and I found myself in the middle of heavy rainstorm. At some point, I started to get worried that I wasn't gonna get to my next destination before the sunset. But then a miracle happened. I passed through the clouds and I saw this beauty on top of the hill. Located on top of the hill overlooking the town of Biblian, I found the sanctuary of Virginderozio, a 19th century Gothic-style church carved into the rocks. It is supported by 49 granite columns and has a distinctive blue rooftop. The legend goes that back in 1883, a long drought killed all the crops in the area. So a farmer placed a statue of Virgin Mary on the side of the mountain and prayed for the rain. What happened next, you probably have guessed. I couldn't resist going inside and seeing it for myself. It looked very powerful inside, very peaceful, and as an added bonus, once you walk out, you're treated to a spectacular view of the town. Wow, what a beautiful church that was. I'm so happy I made a little detour. If you're driving south to Cuenca, highly recommend stopping here It is literally built into the mountain. Inside of the church, you still see parts of the mountain as interior. It felt so powerful inside. I don't know, like it's something that you just have to experience. I'm very happy I did that. The weather seems to be improving, and I have about an hour or so to go to Cuenca, which will be my next stop. So yeah, hopefully the weather stays good, and I'll get there on time, and I'll report back from Cuenca. Of all cities in Ecuador, Cuenca is arguably the most charming one. A presence of cobblestone streets, colonial buildings, and beautiful parks makes this place very special. Cuenca is also an economic center of southern Sierra. Its history begins before the arrival of Spanish and Incas here. It was first settled by Cañari tribe, remember those from Inkapirka, and originally called Guayaquil, which means the land as big as heaven. Modern-day Cuenca was founded by Spanish in 1557, which makes it one of the oldest cities in Americas. It should be no surprise that Cuenca is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, with some of the cathedrals here dating 500 years back. In recent years, it has become a very popular place to retire for expats from all over North America and other parts of the world, and I can definitely see why. So far, Cuenca has been very impressive. There's a lot of colonial architecture, and I feel like I went back in time 2 centuries. It's very well preserved, especially the historic center here is must see. It's quite incredible. I'm really enjoying it, and I think Cuenca is #1 so far in terms of architecture in Ecuador. Walking around Cuenca for just a couple of hours, I honestly started to fall in love with this city. Another unique fact about Cuenca is its churches. They are everywhere. The influence of Spanish culture had become a part of Ecuador's heritage, and significant aspect of it is Catholic Church. I honestly don't think I've ever seen so many beautiful churches in one town. So I've decided to visit probably the most famous one, Cathedral of Immaculate Conception, or as they call it here, the New Cathedral. Right in the heart of the old town and besides the park of Calderon, I found this Cuenca's landmark. You see, right across from New Cathedral, there is a small church that was built in 16th century. At the time, it was one of the biggest and one of the famous churches in Cuenca. But over the years, it has become too small to accommodate the vast majority of people, and so it was decided to build the new cathedral. The construction began in late 1800s, and now it has a capacity of 8,000 people. With its Spanish stained glass windows, Italian marble on the walls and on the floors, and 3 enormous blue domes, it is a true work of art. There's a big misunderstanding of the origin of Panama hats. During 1906, when Panama Canal was opening, President of US Theodore Roosevelt wore one of these hats. Because the event was such a high profile and there were so many pictures of him taken wearing this hat, that's how the name Panama hat originated. However, Panama hats solely made in Ecuador, and they originated in the coastal area of Ecuador, and eventually as they got more and more popular, the production moved to the middle parts of Ecuador. Fact check. Homero Ortega is all-in complex that serves as a factory, museum and a shop. Here I was able to dive into the history and the process of making Panama hats. It starts with examining the slender straws and the weave. Then it goes through the series of processes to obtain the desired result, including bleaching, shaping, brim finishing, and many others. Depending on the time and quality that weaver put into the hat, the price can fluctuate a lot.
And the final hat, the cost is $200.
$200?
Yeah, thousands. Thousands.
$200,000?
Yes.
For a hat?
Yeah.
The prices might be fluctuating, but one thing is always the same, that stylish macho look. Cuenca is also known for its food scene. Whenever I travel, I try to go to a local market where food is made fresh using the local produce. The market of October the 9th is just such place. Here you can find a variety of local produce and delicious meals. Not bad. After filling lunch, I decided to go on my final walk around Cuenca. Right next to the food market, you can find a traditional Ecuadorian bazaar that sells a variety of goods. I've decided to pick up some last-minute souvenirs here before leaving La Sierra and heading west towards the city of Guayaquil. I left Cuenca early in the morning and headed towards the city of Guayaquil, but 30 kilometers from Cuenca, I wanted to make a quick stop and experience the Andean forest at the Kakas National Park. It is a high-altitude area known for its trails through evergreen cloud forests and hundreds of lakes. It is also home to a rich wildlife. Some of the animals here are endemic and endangered. The highest point here reaches over 4,000 meters. It is an archaeological site with evidence of human activity dating 8 centuries back. Nowadays, Kakas is a popular place for hiking, camping, and fishing. Kakas National Park turned out to be a very peaceful and tranquil place. Something that I really needed before hitting the largest city in Ecuador. You see, thing about Ecuador is that because it's located so high above the sea level, a lot of people experience altitude sickness. And I think I'm feeling it a little bit. You feel shortness of breath, lightheaded. But you know, there is a cure for that apparently, and it's, yeah, you got it right, coca leaf. Coca leaf supposed to help you cure the altitude sickness. So just like that, I'm gonna chew it. Let's see what happens. Vamos. Guayaquil is Ecuador's largest city and its economic center. Over the years, Guayaquil has grown to Ecuador's most populous urban area and a significant South American trading hub.
Its economic success is due in large part to a location at convergence of Daule and Babahoyo rivers, just 70 kilometers from the Pacific Ocean. Its economic boom prompted an influx of European immigration that had its impact on the style of architecture here. It is also a popular travel hub, as most of the flights that go to Galapagos Islands depart from here. In the heart of Guayaquil, built in 19th century, Park Seminario can be found. With an impressive monument of Simón Bolívar and Metropolitan Cathedral at the background, it is a very photogenic place. But there is one unique thing about this park, and it is its inhabitants. The place is full of iguanas, hence its nickname Iguanas Park. They freely roam around, and locals along with tourists take a good care of them. If you thought this was an artificially made attraction, it's not the case. Iguanas have been here since colonial times. The high concentration of these reptiles is due to close proximity to the river and willow trees, whose fruits are their favorite food. Just as every large city in Ecuador, Guayaquil has its own artisan market, where you can find many handcrafted products. Since Guayaquil is situated on the banks of the river, it has a very nice harbor front, called El Mayakon. It is one of the most ambitious projects taken by local authorities towards rejuvenation of the city. I must admit, El Mayakon was a great place to walk around. In fact, walking around the town, I've noticed that local authorities make everything possible to make Guayaquil a touristy-friendly place, from installing free Wi-Fi to different attractions around the town. But there was one specific place that I really wanted to see in Guayaquil. La Peña's neighborhood is located in the northeast corner of the city, and it is a home to many recognized artists. Most of the neighborhood's houses are over 400 years old, and walk through here gives a glimpse at Guayaquil's past. You will probably notice the numbered steps here. Yes, La Peña's is located on a hill, and there are 444 steps to get to the top. It's about 500-meter climb, and it goes through colorful houses and shops. But trust me, it will be one of the most pleasant climbs you've ever experienced. Plus, there will be few other bonuses waiting for you at the top of Santa Ana Hill. A nice lighthouse, a beautiful tiny church, and have I mentioned 360-degree stunning views of the entire city? My trip was coming to its end, and I started heading back to Quito. But there was one more place that I missed on the way here, and La Sierra trip would not be completed without seeing it. So I headed towards the Kilotoa Lakes. As it usually happens to me, I decided to take a somewhat unpopular route to save some time. And as it turned out later, it was a quite adventurous ride.
So, crazy story happened to me. Basically, I'm on my way from Guayaquil to Kilotoa, and I almost ran out of gas. There's only like few villages on the way, so I look at the Google Maps and I saw the villages coming up, and first world mentality, I'm like, okay, like they for sure have a gas station. Here in these small villages, they don't even have the pumps at the gas station. They literally keep the gasoline like a bottles. I pull up here, obviously they don't accept card, I don't have cash, and there were two guys just passing by, and they end up buying me like a little bit of gas to make it to next big town, and I'm just speechless. Like, people here are so amazing. Like, no questions asked, he just went, paid the guy, and now I'm good to go, and I'm just so grateful. Don't make that mistake. So check your route, check the maps, especially if you're in the foreign country, so you don't find yourself in a situation like that, because otherwise I would be stuck in the mountains in the middle of nowhere with no reception. But thanks to Ecuadorian people, I'm good to go.
Finally, I reached my last destination on this trip, a beautiful Kilotoa Lake. I got lucky again. You see, as it normally happens in the mountains, this place often gets very foggy, and sometimes you need to wait hours for it to open up. When I got here, for about 10 minutes, the fog around the lake cleared out and I was able to fully enjoy a true beauty of this magnificent place.
And so we've done it. After 2,000 kilometers covered in a car, we've seen La Sierra, we've seen a lot of this beautiful country, and I couldn't be more happier. Shout out to my car who survived all this difficult roads. But in all honesty, I would like to thank the people of Ecuador and this beautiful country for giving me an opportunity to explore it, to enjoy it. I would like to thank people for being so kind to me, like just in daily interaction, casual interaction, and to that moment when I ran out of gas and the guys helped me. In and out, beautiful country, great people. I have a blast here, and I strongly recommend you do La Sierra, especially because the beauty is just out of this world, and the change of climate zones makes it so much more fun. Anyways, that's it for me, and stay adventurous, stay safe, and stay loud. I'll see you in the next country. Ciao.